Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah for the wickedness of ourselves and for the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be misguided for him. Whoever misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness no God worthy to worship except Allah, only Him, no associate for Him, and I bear witness Muhammad is messenger and His servant. O Allah, give good praise upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and give good praise upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham, really most worthy of praises, most exalted in glory. Okay, today inshallah, like always, when Shay is not here, I'll be feeling for him. For the last topic that we took to the book of Don't Be Sad was You Are Unique. About after we actually, he didn't go inside the book, is it? I think so, because last week he did the class. Last week. Oh no, last week is me, is it? Yeah. So Shay doesn't come yet. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So inshallah I will continue, because last week we mentioned, we talk about in the art of becoming happy. To become happy is actually to understand that everybody is unique. So when you know that what is yours being given by Allah is not for others, and what for others is not for you. So if you understand that, inshallah you'll be happy. Okay, that is one part. So today inshallah we continue. Much that its appearance is harmful is in fact a blessing. Much that is in appearance is harmful is in fact a blessing. William James said, our handicaps help us to an extent that we never expect. Whatever the difficulty that we have actually will push us to some place that we didn't expect we can be there actually. If Dostoevsky and Tolstoy had not lived painful life, Dostoevsky is the writer of Crime and Punishment. Theodore Dostoevsky. He's a Russian author. He wrote the book, The Crime of Punishment. It's actually one of the best books that explain the danger of usury or riba. Usury or riba. He actually told a story. He went to the prison actually. He was prison during the time of the government of Soviet, and he wrote a book that title, and they said it's actually a true story he got from a cellmate or prisoners in Siberia. He was being prisoned in Siberia at that time, Theodore Dostoevsky. So the book of Crime and Punishment was the book that told us the story about a man, a young guy, who want to learn, to go into medical studies, sell everything they have, go to the city to learn, but suddenly being hooked with debt by a Jewish woman. Here the story is not about race or anything, but at that time Jewish are the one that impose usury upon people. We here in Malaysia we have the along that put anybody take a debt from them, they will multiply. Sometimes those people already paid more than they're supposed to pay, but it actually only the interest. So this woman made that guy actually until he become poor, sold his book, still in debt. In the end, worked with the woman. At last, he killed the woman, and he feel that he's become a hero to release or free many people that being hooked by this woman. That book was, let me say it by my lecturers in Yemen. He said that the best book, non-Islamic book that being written about the danger of usury. how it destroy the society. That is Dostoevsky. Tolstoy, I don't really know about him. So I think most of them is actually because Dostoevsky was a prisoner. He was prisoned because other things, maybe because of something he wrote at that time. But he got the story inside the prison. Anyway, because of the painful life, maybe living inside the prison, being tortured in prison. So, had not lived a life, they would not have been capable of writing their ageless journals. Not until today, they died more than many years ago, more than 10 years ago. But their writing is still become a literature for students to study until today. So being an orphan, blind, poor, or away from honor and comfort are all conditions that may lead you to accomplishment and distinct to advancement and contribution. That being said, because that if you look into the Prophet Sallam, he himself also being brought up as an orphan. You look to him, you pity him, but that is the way Allah Ta'ala want to mold him, make him to become somebody who is strong. You know, I always say that if you see that the prophets and the messengers of Allah always are from the strongest person inside the society. Why? Because we, with our capabilities, if we being shamed, being accused by our people, our society with one words like crazy, everybody say you are crazy. Everybody say you are wanting something. You are a witch. You are a witch doing witchcraft. You are a liar. You know you cannot stand to stay inside the society. You will have depression to the extent you can become crippled. I said this because many times I mentioned to all of you about people who actually once have a fame in the society. Suddenly Allah Ta'ala took away his fame and become crippled. Like example, Ayapin. Ayapin, the one that become the leader of the sect group of the Sky Kingdom in Terengganu. You know, when his place was being destroyed, he became crippled. He became paralyzed. Cannot stand anymore. They have to take him from place to places to be treated. But he died paralyzed. You know, once he can say that I am the maker of every religion. I am. Everybody is actually, kissing his hand. Even some of Hindus people in Stapa wash his feet with milk and drink that milk. We have the videos. You see that something being said just like that. I remember at that time Sami Velu was still alive and still a minister. He said Ayapin is not only deceiving the Muslim, also deceiving the Hindus. Not only deceiving, tak menyesatkan orang Islam, but also menyesatkan orang Hindu. That is the words from Sami Velu at that time. But this guy, when Allah Ta'ala took away his position inside the society, when his place was being destroyed, suddenly he cannot stand anymore. Suddenly he lose his strength, cannot walk anymore. That is because the depression that somebody being turned over from this position to the other lowest position, they cannot bear it. The same as Ash'ari Muhammad, the group of Arkam. When he was saying he was the helper of Mahdi, and in the end he almost said I'm the Mahdi. His followers actually really upraising him, praising him, look up to him. But when the government raid their place in Sungai Penchala, not long after that, after his confession, I am wrong and everything, he was crippled. He become paralyzed. If not only cannot walk, cannot speak. He died a crippled man. So can you imagine? Because that is the extent when somebody, being put up so high, suddenly become so low in the eyes of the people, they will have some sort of depression that can make them even to become paralyzed. So the Prophet ﷺ, can you imagine, 40 years being praised as Al-Amin, Al-Amin, Sadiqul Wa'd, never being lie, never lie, not a single lie. Even when he start to preach, to tell people about his position, the revelation that he got, he stood up on the Jabal Safa. Jabal Safa being put a metal, like barricade around it. The Prophet was stood up on the hill and calling people. Imagine at that time there's no building around that. Originally the hill of Safa and Marwa are not inside the mosque. It's not part of the mosque. After a few years, after the time of the kingdom of Saud, they start to put it inside the mosque. If not, it was open outside the mosque. So they start to build, a roof for it. Until in the end, it become part of the mosque. So that place, the Prophet ﷺ was calling, everybody sending people to him. Whoever cannot come to the Prophet ﷺ when he called, Ya Sabaha, Ya Sabaha, people coming to him. Those who doesn't come will send their somebody to replace him. So the Prophet ﷺ said, if I say to all of you that behind this mountain, behind this hill, there are army on horses will come and raid you tomorrow. If I say that, those people said, Ma jarabna alayka kadiban. We never test you lie, not a single lie, not a single lie. Then the Prophet said, Fa inni nadhirul lakum bayna yaday adab min shadid. If that your belief, then I am the warner for you before the great atonement from Allah come to all of you. And starting from that point, his uncle said to him, Tabbal laka sa'ir al-yawm li ahli hadha jama'atana. Tab, blaze, shalaka, or destruction be upon you. If is this why you gather us? Is this why you gather us? He said. So can you imagine, after 40 years being praised, suddenly a turnover. But if you look into it, the Prophet ﷺ, his strength, Allah Ta'ala built up his strength, his endurance doesn't have anybody to complain to. Your children will come to you, complain about what happened to the school at school. His friend, do something to her. Your children will come and say something like that. You have somebody to complain to say to. Your parent will say, oh, inshallah, I will go tomorrow and school that child who do something bad to you. The Prophet doesn't have that. Doesn't have that. Because of that, he doesn't have, a human to rely on. So his strength is built up from his birth. Making him to become an orphan is something that helped him to become a strong person. Doesn't sulky or be sad easily. You can be sad. You can to show your sadness if you have somebody can comfort you, can help you. But when you know that nobody can help you, you will not show your impression to anybody because nobody will comfort you. Why should you do that? So the Prophet ﷺ being built up, like I said, as an orphan from the start of his life. Even becoming a shepherd for sheep. Also, some of the scholars said that is the way for Allah to build up his leadership. Because the shepherd is actually have to count every sheep that a goat or sheep he have. Cannot just be like that. Cannot be ignoring the shepherd, the sheep. So always be attentive. What will happen? So this actually the build up. Same like Moses also. What happened to him when being thrown to be sent inside the palace of Pharaoh? His mother have to throw him inside the river until he being, the water brought him to the palace of the Pharaoh, being kept there. Yusuf alayhi salam, how he being sent to Egypt. The way he's been sent, being thrown into the well by his brothers. Everything of that is actually the way that part of it is actually a harmful thing, something that you don't like. But to build up that person, that is the way. That is the way to build up the person. This is one thing actually for the for our brother and sisters who have a newborn, a child during these days. Sometimes to be a little not harsh, to be a strong parent. For you send your children to the school, listening from kindergarten, the teacher say this, say that. So if you actually covering them all the way, bubbling them, they cannot endure anything happen after that. You have to a little let them go. Let them go a little. Sometimes even if the teacher is actually a little strict with them, maybe because something that you don't know, you interfere from the start for the development of your child sometimes being disturbed. You don't realize that. You don't realize that. You always thought that the way you covering them is always best. Sometimes letting them go a little for them to learn is good. It's good. Anybody who say they have adult children, they understand this, because the way if you always bubble them, they cannot live in the life of a normal person. They rely on you. They rely on you for certain things. Good, for all things, it's not a good thing. Mom, I have meeting today. I have a decision. What should I do? To buy or not to buy? To go or not to go? You cannot do that. Because you are unique. Your mother is unique with her life. You cannot force them to do decision for you. That is the way that being said here. Okay. A poet said, Allah can bestow his blessing through trials that are small or large. And he passed some to trial by giving them his blessing. Now Allah can bestow his blessing through trial, whether either the trial is big or small. Actually, that's the way Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً أَتَصْبِرُونَ. We created some of you for the others as a trial. Not only the life, not only the weather, not only the wind, but even you and the others. This is something that you meet somebody, you want to be patient with them, you have to understand that he is a trial for me. Then you can comfort yourself a little. Because Allah Ta'ala is looking at you. We, alhamdulillah, in Ramadan, we get this intense reminder about being watched by Allah. Can you imagine? You open your phone, suddenly something is there. Astaghfirullah, Allah is looking at me. If not in Ramadan, you don't care. But because you are taking care of your fasting, you don't want your fast to be worthless in the sight of Allah. Because like been said by the Prophet sallallahu rubba sa'imin, many of those who fast, laysa lahu min siyamihi illa al-ju' wal atash. They don't get from their fasting except hunger and thirst. That is the only thing they get. No reward, nothing. You don't want that. But that can happen when you don't take care of your other actually instinct or being given to you by Allah, your sight, your hearing, your mouth. You don't take care of that, then Allah Ta'ala will make your fasting become worthless. So you actually taking care of that, saying something, astaghfirullah. If you really listening to that, your inner voice, about you are being watched by Allah all the time, intense. So the same when in not Ramadan, you meet somebody having difficulties, stuck in jam, and everything. You have to remember that Allah Ta'ala is still watching you, because Allah is not just your God in Ramadan. He's your God all the time, the whole year, every month, not only in Ramadan. It's a reminder to make sure that we are not worshipping Allah inside only Ramadan. That's why our scholars, they have the terms Ramadaniyun, those who are worshipping Allah during Ramadan. But they said kunu rabbani, be all of you as a rabbaniyin, those who worship Allah all the time. Wala takunu ramadaniyin, don't you be from among the Ramadan people. You know, Ramadan people only is Ramadan. So the thing, you remember that, you will calm down yourself. This guy says something to you, but you remember Allah Ta'ala is looking at you. That is the way. Sometimes the trial is something that Allah Ta'ala will bestow you with trial, bestow blessing through trials that are small or large. And He puts some to trial by giving them His blessing. Even the blessing that Allah Ta'ala gives is also a trial. Don't think that only difficulties is trial. The wealth that you have, the health that you have, everything is a trial from Allah. Because those things are what being said by the Prophet ﷺ, will be asked again in the last day about your youth, your time, your wealth, your sihah, your health. What did you use it for? Allah Ta'ala give it to you. For what you give that things? For what did you do with that? So Allah will ask you. All of us will be asked by Allah. Means that in the blessing we will be asked. La tus'aluna yawma idhin anin naim, you will be asked on that day about all the blessing that Allah Ta'ala give you. It's not about, like I said, it's not about Allah Ta'ala want to ask again. It's about, did you use it for the sake of Allah? That is the thing. Allah Ta'ala doesn't want any repayment from you about whatever He give you. It's really for you. Use it. The food, eat it. Everything is for you. But the question is, did you use it for Allah? Do you remember Allah when you do that? In Islam, mashallah, we actually been given by the Prophet ﷺ the manners that remembering us to Allah every time. You want to go out from your house, there's a supplication. Entering your car or your vehicle, there's a supplication. You know, you have supplication. You come into your house, you have supplication. Going into the toilet, you have supplication. Want to sleep, have supplication. Want to eat, say Bismillah. So everything is actually being always being reminding you to Allah. Because that is the way Allah want you to be. You know what Prophet show us? That is the example, the best example for a servant or a servant of Allah who is really having gratitude to Allah. Thankful to Allah. Because you always remember whatever you take, then Allah Ta'ala is actually giving blessing to you. The blessing will become blessing, not a trial. But if not, then the blessing is a trial. Allah Ta'ala tests you with that. What the Prophet ﷺ said to us, Inna dunya hulwan khadiratun. This world is so fresh and so sweet. Wa inna allaha mustakhlifikum fiha. And Allah is actually giving you opportunity to, to have power upon it, to have authority upon it. And He want to see what are you doing with all that He gave you. What did you do? That is the real thing. Sometimes Allah Ta'ala give blessing to those who have trial, but in blessing also Allah Ta'ala try His servant. Okay. Even children and wealth can become a misery. Can become of can be the cause of misery. It is something, some part of people when they don't have children, they want children, and after they have the children and the children do something bad, they start to be angry. Angry about the children. You doing that? Yeah, making them to work out for 3 months or 2 months, always every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, you want to take care. They want to cry. For 2 months, parent will have panda eyes. Their eyes will be blackened because not having a good sleep. Essentially, that's the thing. Sometimes you have to be careful what you ask. It's not wrong for you to ask, but always remember that from what Allah give you, there actually something that is there. We actually met some people. They said that my husband is like this. I want to, want to separate with my husband. I said, people who doesn't have husband want to have husband. You have husband, and this happened. Like people doesn't have children, they don't want to have children. But those who have children, this is what happened. Essentially, it's not wrong. The trial will be there. People who doesn't have wealth can sleep at night easily. Doesn't think anything about anything. But people who have wealth, they start to think, who will come to my house? Who will rob me? Who will, moving around, they're actually afraid. I remember once, maybe because the person is lawyer, they heard a lot of this thing happen. When I was in Yasin Talim, so our boss there give a check, and a cash check to a lawyer to take the money from the bank. But the lawyer actually said, they reluctant to accept the check because they don't want to go to the bank to take the money like that. Because they're afraid that somebody will rob them. Maybe it's happened. It's happened like that. We don't accuse everybody, but some of the staff there can inform their friend outside, this guy just took few thousands, 10,000. Because sometimes so accurate. The person took the bag, put it inside the car, and the car being broken, break in, and the money being took away. So it's happened. So because they always think like that, so they said, "Can you please give me, the cash, not the check?" So they actually so afraid about that. So our boss gave it to me. I go to the bank, put it inside my pocket. It just moved like that. Because I don't have that experience. Because doesn't have any money like that. People look me like this. So 5,000 actually. If I'm not mistaken, 5,000. Just put it inside your pocket. Some people actually don't care about that. But those people afraid, so afraid about money. I remember even when I went to Hajj, one of my roommate, we are 3 inside the room, me, a magistrate, and a principal of an Islamic school in Kedah. So this, our trial is different. The principal, whenever he told me his story, I can see that he cannot, he's being looked down by everybody. When in Mina, when you want to go into the Muaisim tunnel to go to the place to throw the stone, you have to, they don't open the way directly. You have to make a U-turn so that you don't, clash with people who coming. So you're moving like that. So our principal said to me, when I was moving towards the U-turn, I saw that the place in between, it'd be easier if some place is open, then I just pass there. Because from the wall, there are places that the police will stand there. Maybe they will open for those who actually cannot walk and everything, have difficulties. So everybody passing, I want to go there. Suddenly, he closed the door. He said, "No, go there." He's a principal. In Malaysia, when he actually at his school, maybe he's commanding everybody. You go, you come. So Allah Ta'ala gave him a trial that he being commanded by those guys, go there. No, you just open up. No, go there. So actually when he turned, the U-turn is quite far, come back and suddenly the place is open. And the police said to him, run. You know what he's feeling. I can understand what he's feeling. The trial for him. The trial for the magistrate, I don't know. It's about losing money. I don't know why. I actually don't wear any belt. So I always put money inside. I fold my ihram and put it there. He saw me put it there. He said, hey, Ustaz, you lose your money. I said, it's okay. If you lose, then it's not my risk, not my provision. If it's there, inshallah it's there. Alhamdulillah, I don't lose anything. He, by the way, always being somebody came, took his money. He lost almost 1,000 riyal in Mina. And during coming back from Tawaf, during we arrived first Zulhijjah. So we stay there at the hotel. He's coming back from the hotel. Somebody took away his money. Actually, always lose his money. But inshallah, he's a magistrate. He have many monies. But Allah Ta'ala tests him with that. I have my own test. I will not tell it here. Okay. Anyway, that everybody is being tested the way differently. So maybe because I don't care about the money, Allah Ta'ala doesn't test me with the money. This guy may be afraid about money, then Allah Ta'ala tests me with the money. About losing money. Even though I know he will have more inside his account. But the principle was being, belittled by others. By the cop. He doesn't say, he can give anybody but doesn't give me. So different people, different trial. If you look into it. Even when we go to the SPK on Saturday, meeting people there, I mentioned it a few nights ago. We can just say to them, pray to Allah. Their trial is like that. Not like us. We have our own trial. They have only their own trial. And the endurance is different. It's different. Because sometimes those who doesn't have can give more than those who have. Actually, that's a fact. Because a person that doesn't have maybe 10 ringgit inside his pocket, he can give half to the needy. But you have 1 million, you cannot give half to the needy. You can give 2.5% from the zakat, and maybe a little more, but not half, not even quarter. Because that's the differences between those who actually doesn't have and those who have. Allah Ta'ala make the endurance, their feeling towards whatever they have is actually different. So the trial is different. You have children, there's a different trial. You don't have children, you are in trial. Always remember that. Okay? But the blessing is still there. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, in Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 55. Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 55, Allah Ta'ala said, is about Allah said, "Fala tu'jibka amwaluhum wala auladuhum." So don't let their wealth or their children amaze you, O Muhammad. God Ta'ala sometimes give them things that is actually not with us, but with those who actually not obeying Allah. Sometimes it's things like that being said. The Muslim doesn't have many, but the non-Muslim doesn't have so much more. Allah Ta'ala make the Prophet Sallam himself, but even though the command from the Prophet is for us also. Allah Ta'ala said, "Fala tu'jibka amwaluhum wala auladuhum." Let not their wealth or their children amaze you, O Muhammad. For Muhammad, also for us. Allah Ta'ala said, "Innama yuridullahu liyu'adzibahum biha In reality, Allah planned to punish them with these things. Fil hayati dunya, in the life of dunya. Wa tazhaqa anfusuhum wa hum kafirun. Also that Allah Ta'ala will take their life while they actually disbelieving Allah. Because sometimes when the calamity happen, disaster happen, people start to think about God. To think about God. That is one part. Sometimes when you being tested with disaster and problems, you start to ask, who can help me? And in the end, you may struck into the answer to find the guidance from Allah. That is the way. Allah Ta'ala can test you and you can get guidance from through the test. That is the reality of life. So, if Allah Ta'ala doesn't test you, that is another problem. Doesn't test you. The Prophet ﷺ did say, when one of his companions said, I don't have headache. I don't have any headache. You know what the Prophet said? Anybody want to see the dwellers of the hell? Look at this guy. Because sometimes the difficulties make you supplicate to Allah. You will say, oh Allah, help me. Oh Allah, I'm in distress. You will say something like that. But if you are not in that position at all your life, that is danger there. Because rarely people who have blessing from Allah, getting everything, will remember Allah. Because people who have problems will remember Allah. People who have easiness sometimes will not think about Allah at all. If you remember the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, in the time of Moses, he being said to say to people, Ana Rabbukumul A'la, I am your highest God. You can remember this guy eating food, going to the toilet and everything. How can he say that he's a God? How can he say? So the scholars find out that he actually, Pharaoh, didn't feel sick at all throughout his life. He just sneezed 3 times. For the whole life that he had, only sneezed 3 times. No sickness, no blocked nose, no, nothing. No fever. No fever. Because whenever you will test with fever or sickness, you feel that you are actually not capable. You start to ask Allah. Oh Allah, it's so painful. Oh Allah, help me. Even the non-believers, those who doesn't believe in Allah, there will be any God. During sickness, they will say, oh my God. They will say. So Pharaoh, because the blessing Allah give to him, all the wealth that they have, all the health that they have, he doesn't think that he is a normal human until he claimed that he is the highest God. An Rabbukumul A'la. So sometimes the blessing can be so dangerous, even more dangerous than the sickness or the calamity. The blessing is become more dangerous, more harmful than the thing that you see is harmful. Because Allah Ta'ala sometimes make it to happen to somebody, doesn't think it at all. Until like the ayah said, فَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُمْ. Don't, oh Muhammad, don't let their children nor their wealth amaze you. Innama yunullah liyu'adzibahum bi. Allah Ta'ala want to punish them with that. The punishment sometimes in the Allah Ta'ala doesn't say in the last day, in the world life. Fil hayati dunya. Fil hayati dunya, Allah Ta'ala want to punish them. How? Now sometimes the worry that a person have, the worry that they have about the children, can become something so stressful. Thinking about the children, some people thinking about their children will be kidnapped because of their wealth. Sometimes it's like that, and even sometimes the thing will be written to them after the children become adult. They will not be treated fairly by their children. That's in the other part. They give him all the love, but doesn't get anything from their children. That also sometimes will become a calamity or disaster, or actually painful torment towards their heart. Towards their heart. You not see them, basically they are in that position. Okay. He said here, upon becoming crippled, Ibnu Asir was afforded that the opportunity to complete his two famous books. Ibnu Asir. The two books is Jami' Usul and also Nihayah. Nihayah fi Qarib al-Asar. Okay, Ibnu Asir is known as a commentator of the hadith. If you want to glossary of the words of the hadith that rarely being used. Because the words of the Arabic words inside the Quran and the hadith, they are the norm that being used, like Salah, Allah, angels. That is being used a lot. Some words is actually not being used a lot. Even the Arabs themselves, in some part that they recite, they don't know the words. They don't know the words. Because of that, when you open the commentation of the Quran by the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, like Ibn Abbas, sometimes he described the Arabic word with Arabic words. That you see that why he's saying like that? Because the people of Mecca or Medina doesn't understand that, but the people from other side of Arabs, they understand. So sometimes this thing, the glossary for that for the terms is actually being written by Ibn Asir. Ibn Asir is a crippled guy. He said he managed to, this book is until today become reference. You want to learn the hadith, you want to know words that from the hadith that is actually unknown to you, open this. Nihayah fi Qarib al-Asar. Okay. Asy-Sharqasi wrote his acclaimed book Al-Mawsu'at. Al-Mabsut. All 15 volumes, while being imprisoned in the bottom of a well. He imprisoned in the bottom of a well. He managed to write 15 volumes of book Al-Mabsut. So this guy, this all Al-Sharqasi, if I'm not mistaken, from the scholars of Hanafi Madhab, if not mistaken, Sharqasi. Wait, I have to open. These are the names of the scholars. Sometimes their life is not like we imagine. Decline. Al-Sharqasi, naam. Shams, actually he called as Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Abi Sahal Al-Sharqasi Al-Khazraji. He a fiqh Hanafi, yes. Al-Mabsut fiqh Hanafi. He died 490 Hijrah. 490 Hijrah. So actually the being in prison, inside prison, is actually have the time to write. Maybe if he being released to teach, he doesn't have the time to write. But being, secluded from others, he can have the time to write. Allahu alam. Okay. Ibn Qayyim wrote Darul Ma'ad while journeying on a riding animal, on a camel. He actually he going to coming back from Mecca, doing Hajj. He actually wrote that book on the back of a camel. But actually, he memorized Musnad Ahmad. If you memorize Musnad Ahmad, as if you are memorizing all the 6 other books, Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Nasai, Ibn Majah, Abu Dawud. For Musnad Ahmad only, because there are the thousands, 10 of thousands hadith in there. While if you look into Bukhari, it's around 6,000, 4,000 if not being repeated. Muslim also like that. So he memorized. So he wrote during riding his camel coming back from Hajj. Because of that, he called Zadul Ma'ad, the provision for coming back. Okay. Al-Qurtubi wrote a commentary on Sahih Muslim while traveling on a boat. And also, Al-Qurtubi, one of the scholars, he has two Qurtubi. The Qurtubi that wrote the commentator of the Quran. The Quran is the student. The teacher is one that make commentary on the Sahih Muslim. There's two Qurtubi. Qurtubi is Cordova. They are from Spain. When you say Imam Al-Qurtubi, means Cordova. They are Spanish. They become Muslim. Their ancestors. So they be called Qurtubi because of that. Because of their place. Okay. Most of Ibn Taymiyyah fatwa was written while he was in jail. Ibn Taymiyyah also being in jail inside a well. So his student will come on the top of the well and writing everything that he said from under the well. And he died actually in the early 40s of his age. Not really that old. But Allah Ta'ala make whatever he wrote, whatever he teach, becoming something that actually spread around. This is the trial that Allah gave to them. From that trial come blessing. Okay? The scholars of hadith gathered hundreds and thousands of ahadith. Yeah? These were people that were poor. Actually, they are books written about the difficulties and the poorness of those people. Even some of the scholars of the hadith, people know that he is poor because he doesn't come to class. He sold everything, doesn't have anything. So their friend come to his house, he doesn't have anything left to live on. So they help him. They don't have anything. But they are the one that have the most endurance to learn, to memorize the hadith. Because people that actually start to go to the market, to go to business and everything, will not have the time to memorize the hadith. That is clear. Because those people actually, they have that position, Allah put them there, they can have their own time to memorize the hadith. I remember two things, two person. When you remember about Omar bin Abdul Aziz, that being said as the fifth caliph in Islam. In his time, the people live in so peaceful, harmony, just. Even they said to be, saying thing more than it's supposed to. They said that during his time, the wolf doesn't attack the sheep. The wolf can sit around the sheep, say, "How do you do? I'm fine." During his reign, during the time. To that extent, people saying about his time, so peaceful, so prosperous. They have money from zakat. They don't know what to use to give. You don't have anybody they want to give. Everybody said we don't need. So they use the money to make sure that people who are the young, the bachelor, to be married. No, come. You don't marry yet. Come, we marry you. Give you money. To that extent, you don't know what to use the money anymore. Because so prosperous. But the time for Umar bin Aziz is just 2 years. Just 2 years. The prosperous time that you people mentioned about the fairness during his reign is just 2 years. Okay, he is known for that. The other person is Ibn Shihab Az-Zuhri. Ibn Shihab Az-Zuhri is known as the narrator of the hadith. Even some of the Orientalists, like Goldziher, who wrote about Islam and the scholar of Islam about the hadith, try to attack this guy. Why? Because he is like a pillar for the formalization of the hadith from the time of Tabi'in. The time of Tabi'in. So he's known because he memorized a lot. Okay, Umar Abdul Aziz and Ibn Shihab Az-Zuhri are colleagues in learning. They learn from the same teacher. They stay at the same school. But the problem is when someone go into politics, he cannot go into the other part of the knowledge. They cannot go into specialty knowledge. So even Ibn Shihab said, if Umar Abdul Aziz doesn't go into politics, he'll become more famous and more knowledgeable than me. Because that's the way. But like I said, Allah make somebody for this and somebody for the other thing. You have to complement each other. If everybody become like Umar Abdul Aziz, who will become the scholar? And everybody becomes scholar, who will become like Umar Abdul Aziz? You have to have somebody to do works that Allah Ta'ala give for them. Like we mentioned before, everybody is unique. You didn't say that why he cannot do what I do. I remember a few days ago, they said our SPK, Swat Perhatian Kemiskinan, when we go to help the poor and the needy, some of them is so worse, in so bad condition, their houses. So we appoint a company to clean their house. But suddenly somebody took the picture and put it inside the social media, and people start to say how lazy they are. Oh, so worse. This is the mind of the people. Actually, one thing, yes, the mind of the people is like that. Some people actually, you know the right and the wrong. But some people actually, they don't have the IQ like you have. You can think, you can act. Some people cannot think and cannot act. They don't have the capability. Because of that, Allah Ta'ala makes that we who have many to have, mercy upon those who doesn't have like us. If you want to think, you can say that Allah give me, I will give you. Go and work. Go and find yourself. We can say something like that. But it's not being told to us in Islam. Even though the Prophet said that the higher hand is more noble than the lower hand. Yadul Ulia khair min sufla. Mean the one that giving is better than who is receiving. But we don't scold them to say that you are lazy and everything. You don't know the condition. Even they say that the house is actually occupied by an OKU. A person that is actually cannot capable to take care of themselves. So it's so messy. But like I said, even if the person is not OKU, it's about you have to have mercy, because not everybody is like you. Not everybody can think like you, can act like you. Because somebody, you can give them 10 ringgit, within few days become 100 ringgit. Some person, you give them 10 ringgit, and tomorrow he become in debt, 50 ringgit. It can happen because the way of thinking is not the same. To give something to others, to have mercy, you have to know that Allah is not giving everybody like He gave you. Whatever you get, maybe not for everybody. If you understand that, then maybe you can be a little merciful, have a mercy upon others. If not, you can say that I can do it, why doesn't he? We're afraid that it will happen, like being said inside the Quran, about the people who doesn't want to spend their money in charity, in Surah Yasin. Surah Yasin. Allah said, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ. When being said to them, أَنْفِقُوا, spend from what being given to you by Allah. قَالُوا, they said, أَنُطْعِمُ, do we have to give food? Surah Yasin. Nutaimu. Okay, Surah Yasin, verse number 47. 47. This ayah is really what some people, you have to really understand. The ayah said, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when we said to them, أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ, spend from whatever being provided to you by Allah. Allah Ta'ala provide to you, then spend it to give charity. Qalu, they said, Anutu'imu, do we have to give, to have feed, to feed? Do we have to feed? Mallaw yasha'ullahu at'ama. Those who, if Allah want, Allah give them food. Allah feed them. But when Allah doesn't feed them, why should we? The answer is like that. If Allah doesn't give them, why should we give them? They don't want to give, but they use the reason, or they want to justify their action by saying that if that person is not being given by Allah, then why should I give? That is wrong actually, because you have to understand that nobody, it's really not everyone have the same capability that you have. So if they are like that, you have to be merciful. The IQ, the strength, you can say that I can lift that. Why she didn't he lift it up? I can do that. Why didn't he? Because the idea, yes, for the idea, we are all human. We are all children of Adams. We have 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears. The same. But the problem is our inner self. You remember, our Shaykh said a few days ago, it's actually from the hadith of Tirmidhi, when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the creation of Adam. Adam was created from all the soil of the earth. And the soil of the earth came differently. Some of it is so soft, easy for you to do. Some is so hard. Some of it is the color, black, red, and white, or in between. So Allah, the Prophet said, Inna Allah khalaqa Adam min qabdatin qabadaha min jamil ardi. Allah Ta'ala created Adam from the handful soil that being collected from the whole earth. Faja banu Adam ala qadril ardi. That the children of Adam came as like the soil that Adam been created. Some of them is black, some of it is white, some of it is red, some in between, and some of them are easy. So easy. Put something, everything. You say one time, he follow. But some of them is so stubborn. It's because of the land, the soil. So the test is there. You should not actually taking everybody is like you. Because if you think like that, you have less mercy towards others. You say that I can do, why didn't you? Why can't you? Don't say something like that. Because that is what happened to the SPK Facebook, because we have to make the disclaimer, because we didn't send the picture. The picture being sent by somebody who took the picture from the company that we appoint to clean up the house. We appoint them, but somebody took the picture and sent it into the social media. It's wrong. Not by our consent, not by the family consent. We have the record, but we don't spread it around. Just like that. So the house is like that. We help, inshallah, for that. But the problem is, like I said, if anybody become like that, the condition is like that, you have to have mercy. Because Allah Ta'ala, alhamdulillah, make you be born in a family, in a time, in a place, to a parents, to a society that different from them. So you have to be grateful. Don't ever compare them with you. Because what you get is Allah Ta'ala provision. What they don't get is only been stopped by Allah. So that's the thing. Actually, be careful about that. To understand that not every person is like you. Not every person capable like you. Then only you can give away charity by smiling. Because they are not capable. It's not there, we can say lazy. Because they put there, so lazy. They are so lazy, they don't clean their house. It's not about poverty. Yes, you understand that. But the way of thinking for some people is not the same like you. Maybe if you help them once, twice, and suddenly they will they can change their attitude towards cleanliness. Maybe. Because here in Al-Khadim, you can see that all our toilet being told to be always dry. Carefully being told, huh? Our Sheikh is actually so particular about that, about the toilet. Because when I talked with him, he said too many accidents happen for our Jama'ah inside the toilets. Slippery, they're old age, they don't have the same balance when they are when they are young. They were young, they can, have a little flexible way to support their body. But when they are old, they will struck, fell down and struck their head, become crippled, become have stroke. So it's so dangerous. Sometimes people doesn't think about this. This is actually why. For part. So, because of that particular things I learned in Al-Khadim, now every bathroom in my house have this swingy. What is it? The thing that you take the water with. You call it that what? Something like squeegee. I don't remember the name. But the thing, I put it inside every room. And always after I want to come out, like a habit, I will always, because my daughter fell down few times. She ran inside the toilet, and she start to cry. At that time, we as a parent, we said, inside our mind, why did we run? But the thing is, why didn't we provide a dry surface for that? Your children will not think about that, but we adults have the mind. So sometimes, become a norm right now. If I enter, I will start to take the thing. So maybe, wallahu alam, if you help them now, they can change their attitude toward cleanliness. But if you just say you are lazy, you don't change. You help them to see the cleanliness happen is so, making them in peace. Maybe they didn't see any cleanliness before. Maybe their houses before, it's just without any tiles. No tiles. Some villages outside of Kuala Lumpur, they have the kitchen, on the ground. They don't have any tiles, separated from the main house. So they don't care about that. They see everything is there. So sometimes the way you change people is by, telling them something and showing them that. Example, that's very example. But don't say, because they may not have the same IQ like you have. Careful about that. Okay. They said those were people that were poor, people that were strangers in the world, to the world, toward home, because they are moving around. From Baghdad going to Mecca, from Mecca going to Syria, going to Yemen to memorize the hadith. And always their intention to know more about the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. If they listen somebody know more about that, they will go and try to compare what they already know to what those people say. So they are strangers, always moving around. They don't have a place of settlement. Okay. A righteous person informed me that he was imprisoned for a while during the period of his incarceration. He memorized the Quran. This is about the author. It's not about the scholar of the hadith anymore. It's about the author. He said that a righteous person informed me that he was imprisoned for a while. And during the period of his incarceration, means that separated from others, or uzlah, when they are not with the others people, not in his life, he memorized the entire Quran and studied 40 large volumes of Islamic jurisprudence. Yes, the time. Sometimes the blessing is there. The blessing is there. I remember one of our friend. He was actually also being stopped wrongly from moving around. He cannot go out from Malaysia. His passport will stop. He cannot go and teach to many places because something happened. Wrongly accused upon his name. But during that day, he managed to finish his master degree. You know, he have 2 bachelor degree, 2 master degree. Now he doing PhD. You know, during the time he was stopped from going out, he managed to further his study. That's sometimes the blessing that you don't know. Allah Ta'ala is giving the blessing through that. Abul Ula dictate his book to others because he was blind. Means that he want to actually the same for few scholars who are blind actually. Like if you remember Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah, the scholar, Mufti of Hadith, Grand Mufti of Saudi, known his name, Sheikh bin Baz, Abdul Aziz bin Baz. He was blind from 16 years old. 16 years old, he was already blind. So the way he learned after that, and the way he teach after that, is actually by people reciting to him. Read to him, and he memorized. And people who actually doesn't have any eyesight, they can memorize more and have strong memorization, memory than the people who have eyes. It's not like that. So because of that, I did mention to all of you before that in Yemen or in the Arab country, when their children are blind, they will send them to learn Al-Quran, to memorize the Quran. They will send them. The children, you know, when I was in Yemen, the head of the reciter of the Quran, the grand reciter of the Quran for Yemen, the first, the second, if not mistaken, also the third, all of them are blind. You know, if somebody want to get back to Malaysia, have a certificate being, endorsed by the Minister of Education in Yemen, the Minister of Education will not stamp anything except this sheikh, write something on your certificate. This blind sheikh. So the student must go to his mosque every asar to recite to him whatever they memorize. So if he think that you are capable and he tests you and you pass, he will write something there and the Minister of Education will stamp your certificate. Then only your certificate is actually renowned. If not, this sheikh is blind. The second person is also blind. In Arab country, they send their blind children to memorize the Quran. In Malaysia, Allahu Alam, they send their children to learn music. That is the way our thinking. Because actually, okay, I want to give you an information. If anybody among you or your children memorize the Quran, they can get a type of payment from the Baitul Mal and from the religious affairs of their states for the payment because of their memorization of the Quran. There are certain amount. Some place actually 6,000 per year. 6,000 per year. Just go there, they test you with the Quran, you pass, they give you 6,000. Many people doesn't know this. So the thing is, if they memorize the Quran, they can get more actually. Even though we don't want people to use Quran to gain wealth. But they can get that. They can get that. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the muadzin of the Prophet ﷺ, the second muadzin for Fajr, the one is actually Bilal bin Rabah. The second one, Abdullah ibn Maktum. He's a blind person. He's a blind person doing azan for the Prophet ﷺ. So people actually, the blind person is not being secluded inside the society of Islam. They can be part of it, even can become the imam. Abdullah ibn Maktum, the Prophet ﷺ left him. If the Prophet ﷺ a few times went out of Medina to go to war, then the Prophet will leave Medina to him. You stay in Medina, take care of everything. He's a blind person. So in Islam, a blind or blindness, a blind person or blindness is not a big defect. They can still be inside the society and do, because you can see that people actually singing when they're blind, playing music when they're blind, but they memorize the Quran is more noble for them. So in the Arabs country, always their children blind sent to memorize the Quran, because they know that people who are blind, they can memorize more. Because of that, they can walk through few steps. You can see that the person, how can they know how many steps from here to here? Because they memorize it. Allah Ta'ala replace their vision on the back of their head to become the place for memorization. That is the other thing Allah Ta'ala give them. Said Taha Hussein lost his sight, and forthwith he began writing his renowned journal and books. Taha Hussein is actually renowned writers in the 50s in Egypt. Many writing being written by him. Many bright people, upon being removed from their position or jobs, contribute to the world in knowledge and thought much more than they ever previously did in their life. It means that if you really look into it, Allah Ta'ala is giving them advantages in the other side. Allah Ta'ala takes something from them, but Allah Ta'ala give them another advantages. So if only a person remember about that, about to find the blessing inside the harm or the defect or anything that you lose, try to find the blessing. I remember some motivational speaker, I think, that his hand and his leg is so short. He's giving motivation to the students. I don't remember his name. During PKP, his video was spread around, became viral. He doesn't have hand and leg, but his speech was so inflicting good things inside society. The thing is, just only if they know how to find the blessing. You, with all the things that you have, Allah give you, you must have the same attitude. Find the blessing in whatever Allah tried you with. The trial, inside it, there's a blessing. And not every blessing is really just free from trial. Okay? Alhamdulillah. We stop there, inshallah. Any question? Okay, no question. Question?
Assalamualaikum, Ustaz.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
We've been made to understand that when you make dua in prayer, the best is when you sujud. Right. If one is unable to sujud for so long,
Okay.
when in the prayer, outside the prayer, can you make dua?
Okay. Inside your prayer, when the Prophet ﷺ said, "Aqrabu ma kana al-'abdu an rabbi wa sajidun," the nearest servant be to his Lord while they are prostrating. Fa'akthiru du'a, then make abundant of dua. So the Prophet said that, but doesn't restrict it only there. Even the Prophet ﷺ did say that after tashahud, before giving salam, the Prophet said, "Falyad'u bima sya'." Then the person, after doing the tashahud, say whatever dua that he like. So if you look into it, inside your prayer, there's two places that you can say or utter words that is not part of the salat. First, inside the sujud, not only the last, but also every sujud. Okay, and before giving salam, before giving your salam, ending your prayer, that is also the place. So, and also after your prayer, after finishing your prayer, that is also the place where you get your prayers to be answered by Allah. So the Prophet doesn't, put only inside the sujud. And you must remember, when you pray with the Imam, you have to follow the Imam. If the Imam, raise up his body, saying Allahu Akbar, you should not stay there to do your prayers, because you are inside a congregational prayers in Jama'ah, you have to follow the Imam. If not, then you're prostrating. A person cannot do the sujud, just bowing down like that, is still for him or for her to supplicate to Allah in that position. You don't say that he's not doing sujud. No, he's doing the sujud the way he can. The way he can, that is acceptable. Because that is the way his prayer become accepted by Allah. So also the sujud also being accepted by Allah. So he can pray even though he's just sitting, Allahu Akbar, Allah, making the prostrating lower than the bowing, prostrating. So when he was prostrating like that, he can just pray like that, do his supplication, not on the ground, because he or she is doing the prostrating the way that he can, not must be on the ground. Okay.
Can you also do it after the prayer?
Yeah, after prayer.
Yeah. Because I've heard that if you do it regularly, you can't.
Okay.
Is that true?
We do what?
You do that every time.
It's okay.
The dua after each prayer.
Yeah, because the Prophet ﷺ did say to his companion, he said, if I'm not mistaken, Sa'd bin Waqqas, the Prophet said, "Inni uhibbuka, I love you. Don't you forget to say after your prayer, Allahumma inni ala dhikrika wa syukrika wa husni ibadatik. Oh Allah, help me to remember you, to grateful to you, and to also doing good in worshipping you." So that dua, the Prophet said to him, do it after the prayer. So it's actually permissible also. Only that you make every time during the rain pouring heavily, pray to Allah. Last third of the night. When you see somebody get provision, somebody get something, you quickly ask Allah also. Because sometimes people say, that person get, why should I raise my hand? Because that is being done by Zachariah. When he saw Maryam get provision from Allah, he asked Allah, if Allah can give her, Allah can give me. That is the other attitude. Even when people, actually you seeing people get something, you ask Allah. You say, why? Because Allah can give him, can give you. So it's not limited, insyaAllah. Not limited. Only just find the time, and always be in state of supplicating to Allah. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, remember that we reminded a few days ago that the last 10 days of Ramadan, always remember, starting from Maghrib until Fajar, don't forget to say Allahumma inni ala dhikrika wa syukrika wa husni ibadat. Don't forget to say Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Oh Allah, you are most forgiving, you love to forgive me. Always remember to say that, because that is the special dua that the Prophet taught Aisha. Aisha said, if I know which night is the night of Qadar, what should I do? What should I say? The Prophet said, Quli, say, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Oh Allah, you are most forgiving, you like to forgive me. So try, insyaAllah, to always do that. Okay? Alhamdulillah, we stop here. What is it?
Assalamualaikum.
Salamullah.
Bismillah. A wife who is tested by Allah when her husband committed in zina with other women, then the wife showed her anger and frustration. Did she consider failed the test?
Actually, the anger that you have is not yet becoming saying that you fail. The way you show your anger, you frustrate inside your heart is one thing. You show your anger, this is another thing. Because to be angry at something that is not appropriate is justified. You know, like Aisha anha, when a Jew came to the Prophet and say, Assalamu alaik, death be upon you. Not assalam, assalamu alaik. So the Prophet said, wa alaik, and upon you. But Aisha, her husband, she loved her husband. The person says something bad to her husband, You know what Aisha answered? Wa alayka la'nah. Upon you, the la'nah. La'nah called to be cast away from the mercy of Allah. Wa alayka la'nah. Wasam wal maut. Ya abna kiraratan khanazir. Oh children of pig and monkey. You know, Aisha become angry to that extent. But the Prophet said, Hasbuki qad balagti. Enough. You already exceeding the what supposed to. So Aisha said, didn't you heard what I said? What he said? The Prophet said, didn't you heard what I said? You know, he said something to me, but I answered it. Will be answered. Our prayers upon them will be answered. Their prayers upon us. But the Prophet said, Inna Allah yuhibbul fusha wa tafahush. But Allah doesn't like bad words and bad doing from a person. So the Prophet stopped her. But to feel angry is not something that you feel. How do you show your anger? How do you show your anger? That is the thing. So if a wife, got angry at her husband or anything, yes, I said justified. But how do you manage your anger? That is the test. The test is not about the anger, and the anger come to you. The test is how do you manage your anger? Do you shout? Do you scream? Do you slam the door? Or you just walk? Like you said, Allahumma inni sa'im. During your fasting, anybody do something to you, just say, Allahumma inni sa'im. Allahumma inni sa'im. I'm fasting. Remember that? So you don't, show your anger or burst your anger to others. You have anger, yes, but try to control it. And the way you utter a word is actually the sign of are you a patient person? Because being said in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 556, Allah Ta'ala said, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Allah Ta'ala said, we will test you by losing your provision, your health, with hunger, and also with fear. But وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, in the end, O Muhammad, give glad tidings to those who are patient. So who are the patient person? Allah Ta'ala answer after that, الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ. Those who, when befell upon them any disaster or calamity, qalu inna lillah. They said, we belong to Allah. Wa inna ilaihi raji'un. And we, to Allah, we will return. So, you careful about your words. The anger, you cannot say, you're disappointed, your face will show it. Even the Prophet, sometimes when, his companion did something, his face will show disappointment. But he will not utter words that, lashing back with the anger. That is the difference. So, the test is always on the start. You are a patient person during the start, not after few days. After a few days, Alhamdulillah, I think I can accept what happened. No. The first day, the first time it happened. Not after 10 days, after 3 days. The first time it happened, if you really remember Allah, you will sure you stop yourself. Don't do or say something that is showing you are not pleased with Allah's trials. And that is the difference. You have the thing inside your heart is actually justified. As a human, to feel sad, to feel angry, is actually justified. But how do you show it? Okay. There's problem there. After a few years you're still angry, you cannot move on. Because you have to know, the first thing first about gaining forgiveness from Allah. You have to be merciful to others. Because if you have the anger until the last breath, your last breath, even the thing already passed many years ago, you actually have to know that if somebody did something wrong to you, you also have sinned towards Allah. If you want Allah to let it go just like that, you have to be same merciful to others. Because Allah Ta'ala always treat you as you treat others. You help others, Allah help you. You cover the shame of others, Allah cover your shame. You leave a burden upon somebody, Allah leave a burden upon you. You forgive others, Allah will forgive you. That is the equivalent. You have to remember. Okay? Alhamdulillah. We stop here, insyaAllah. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin. Wa salam alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.